James 5:17-18. 17 Elijah was a man with a nature like ours, and he prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the earth for 3 years and 6 months. 18 Then he prayed again, and the sky poured rain and the earth produced its fruit. The book of James 5:17 tells me I have the same nature Elijah, and so do you. I say to myself, come the prophet Elijah like yours truly. I do like a LOL, like the modern short way of saying laugh out loud. To understand what I mean, I need to tell you Elijah was, his name Elijah is Hebrew, which means my God is, YHWH. He first appears in 1 Kings chapter 17, and he is sent as a prophet to a very wicked king of Israel named Ahab, to deliver a message and a very powerful statement. He tells Ahab the Lord God will not allow any water to fall, either by rainfall or by the moisture from morning dew. 1 Kings 17:1 Now Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the settlers of Gilead, said to Ahab, as the Lord, the God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there shall certainly be neither dew nor rain during these years, except by my word. He was told by God to give this warning to Ahab because he was a king of Israel, and he did not worship God but the false god Baal, and to the Lord, that is big no. Not only is the only reason I can't accept the words of James to say I have the nature of the prophet Elijah. In 1 Kings chapter 18, Elijah goes in defense mode against Ahab's false god, to prove YHWH is the one true God. Elijah is the only prophet of YHWH against 450 F Baal, the false god of Ahab. Both parties prepare a sacrifice to each other's gods. As the 450 prophets try to call down Baal to accept their sacrifice, nothing happens. Elijah mocks them and says maybe Baal is asleep, shouts louder and they do so, even dance and cut themselves, and still nothing happens. When Elijah times comes, he prepares the sacrifice, and he is so bold he digs a ditch around it and pulls so much water on it that it would be impossible for it to set on fire. Then with a very bold nature he calls down the Lord God and says, prove yourself and show the prophet of Baal and King Ahab you are the one true God. 1 Kings 18:37 Answer me, Lord, answer me, so that this people may know that you, Lord, are God, and that you have turned their heart back. 38 Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt offering and the wood, and the stones and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. Now how is that for the nature of Elijah, and how can I be like him? I want to say again, LOL. But what happens next lets me know Elijah will still doubt God. Ahab's wife Jezebel is very angry at Elijah for making her god Baal a joke and sends people to kill Elijah. So he runs for fear, cause hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. When Elijah is deeply concerned and cries out to God and asks for death, saying please God let me die, I would be better off in the grave. 1 Kings 19:4 But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a broom tree, and he asked for himself to die, and said, enough. Now, Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers. Maybe I do have the nature of Elijah. I have wished for death a few times, even when I know God is real. And I have heard from my dear friends who wish and pray for death, and I am like the Lord, please don't hurt or kill yourself. Life is an awesome gift from God, death is for those who only love themselves and reject God's precious gift. Elijah was and is still a very prophet of God. So bold with his love for God, he was rewarded a ride to heaven by a fiery chariot driven by a fiery horse. If you and I have a bold love for God, and be serious in our prayer life, the Lord will reward me, and you will have an everlasting life. God bless you all. Yahweh loves you, and so do I. Samuel Head. Romans 11:2 No, God has not rejected his own people, whom he chose from the very beginning. Do you realize what the scriptures say about this? Elijah the prophet complained to God about the people of Israel and said, 3 Lord, they have killed your prophets and torn down your altars. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me, too. 4 And do you remember God's reply? He said, no, I have 7,000 others who have never bowed down to Baal. 5 It is the same today, for a few of the people of Israel have remained faithful because of God's grace, his undeserved kindness in choosing them. Chat on WhatsApp. https://www.instagram.com/1samuel120/ https://www.facebook.com/sam.head.1272001/